Okay, we've been doing supply and demand separately up until this point, and so now what we're going to do is put these two together. Just a little review. The law of demand makes sure you remember that there is an inverse relationship, that price and quantity go in opposite directions. That's why the curve is downward sloping. That when we change the price, we're changing quantity demanded, we're not changing demand, and we're moving on the same curve. And so what that looks like, just a review, if we go from a price of 2 and a quantity of 4, and we increase the price and our quantity is now 2, all we have done is moved on the same curve. We haven't changed demand yet. The things that cause the whole entire curve to shift: income, taste and preferences, price of related goods, consumer expectations. If you have any questions over those, let me know. But if we increase demand, we're going to shift it to the right. If we decrease demand, we're going to shift it back to the left. So those are all things that we've gone over before. And once again, just kind of a review. If we are going to increase demand, we are going to shift the whole entire curve to the right. A decrease in demand is a shift of the whole entire curve to the left. So, supply, law of supply, there's a direct relationship between price and quantity. Price goes up, quantity goes up, and then vice versa. That's why we have the upward sloping supply curve. A change in price changes quantity supplied, does not change supply, so we're going to move along the same curve in the same situation. If we are going to change the price from $2 and a quantity of 3, and then if we want to increase the price up to $5, and then we could have a quantity demanded of 6 or excuse me, quantity supply of 6 or 7. Moving along the same curve, we have not changed supply. Determinants of supply, once again, an increase is to the right, decrease to the left. We just finished these up. Price of inputs, number of suppliers, technology, government tools, producer expectations. Those all shift the whole entire curve. So when we do that, once again, an increase in supply, we are going to shift the whole entire curve to the right. Decrease in supply is going to be a shift of the whole entire curve to the left. This is where we start the new information. So this point right here in the center where supply and demand meet is called equilibrium. Any other point is called disequilibrium. And what this is showing, at a price of $3, the quantity supplied and the quantity demanded are exactly the same, and in this case it would be 70. And so make sure that you get in your notes that at this point the market is cleared. And basically what that means is we don't have any surpluses or shortages. We have just as much as what our consumers want. We don't have too much sitting on the shelves that we can't get rid of, or we don't have customers fighting to get our product and not have enough of it. So at any other price, though, besides $3, this is disequilibrium. This point here is called equilibrium. The $3 is called the equilibrium price, and then the 70 would be your equilibrium quantity. And once again, at that point, the market is cleared. It is the point where your supply and demand equal. Shortages are created when a market price is set too low. At that price, the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied. And eventually what's going to happen to eliminate that shortage is that market forces will push the price up to equilibrium. And so here we have a situation where we have a shortage, and we can see that this is the equilibrium point, this is our equilibrium price, and this is our equilibrium quantity. And this point right here is reached through a process of trial and error. And so typically what happens is, as a producer, you will come up with a price based on your costs and putting some additional added some additional price on there so that you can make a profit. But sometimes, even at that, you could have a product that a lot of people want, and at that particular price, this is the quantity that you are willing to supply, but this is the quantity that customers want. And so eventually what's going to happen, as a producer, you will start pushing your price up, and as you push the price up, the quantity that you are willing to supply will go up. But as you push the price up, the quantity that consumers want will start to go down. And eventually you will reach this price where your quantity demanded will equal your quantity supplied. If you've ever been to an auction, you've seen this happen, where they will hold up an item and a bunch of people, when the price is low, will start bidding on it. And eventually what happens is the price is bid up to the point where you have one item and one buyer, and at that point the market is cleared. They would walk away with whatever it is that they just bid on. Surpluses, on the other hand, are created when a market price is set too high. So at that price, the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded, and eventually what's going to happen are market forces are going to push down to the equilibrium price. And here is a situation where we have an equilibrium quantity, or equilibrium price here, equilibrium quantity, but the price that was set was too high. So this is the quantity that suppliers are willing to supply at that price. But at that price, consumers only want this much. And so basically what we will see is, and you've seen this if you've ever been to a store, and on the tags you've seen layer upon layer upon layer of new tags on top of it, putting it on sale after sale after sale. So they will continue to push the price down until we reach a point where we push the price down, and at that price their quantity supplied goes down, but at that price quantity demanded goes up until we reach the point where once again the market is cleared, and at that price they can get rid of everything that they have on the shelves. And once again, reaching equilibrium is a process of trial and error. The other thing that you need to know is this happens in a market economy where the government stays out of it. If the market forces of supply and demand of consumers and producers is left alone to work itself out, eventually a price will end up at equilibrium, and all surpluses and all shortages will eliminate themselves. So what we have here is just kind of a final graphic that does an overview where you see here is the equilibrium price of $1.50. At $1.50 the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied is 8. When we have a situation anywhere below equilibrium, and I just kind of remember that below equilibrium is shorter than above. So the shortages are below, they're the short ones, and then the surpluses are above. So any price, and when we're in class what we will do is we will calculate this, because what we'll do is at this price we'll come down and see what our quantity demanded is, and we will see what our quantity supplied, and the difference between those two numbers will be what our surplus is. And the same with our shortages. We will come down and we will look at what the quantity supplied is versus the quantity demanded. We will take the difference of those two numbers and we will calculate what the shortage is. So make sure you get all this down in your notes. Watch it as many times as you need to. We will have a quiz over this, and you can use your notes.